Okay, it is that time of the year where we get to see the stocks that Warren Buffett is buying and selling. Now, surprisingly enough, he's been doing an absolute ton of selling and a little bit of buying. So he sold 13 stocks and he's only bought 4 stocks. And of those 13 stocks that he sold, 7 of them he sold 100% out of. So that's quite extreme. We all know that Warren Buffett, he loves stocks. He loves to buy stocks because they're businesses and businesses produce things. But right now, he's mainly selling. So the stocks that he sold 100% out of were Activision Blizzard, General Motors, Celanese, Johnson & Johnson, Mondelez, Procter & Gamble, and UPS. Boom, all gone, no longer part of his portfolio. The stocks that he reduced were Amazon. Amazon he only reduced by 5%, so that's not major. I don't think we can make any big conclusions if he's going to fully sell out of Amazon. It's just a slight reduction. And we don't even know if it was Amazon who bought it. In fact, I think it was probably Ted or Todd, one of his investing guys beneath him. He reduced Aon by 5%, Chevron by 10%, HB by 15%, Markle by 66%, Globe Life by 66% as well. So those are all the stocks that he reduced and sold. And the 4 stocks that he bought, technically there were only 3. So he bought Liberty Media Series C with 0.11% of his portfolio. And then Liberty Media Series A, 0.05%. And then you got SiriusXM he bought as well, just a tiny slither of his portfolio. And you've got Atlanta Braves Holding, which is basically nothing for him. So that is quite unlike Buffett, doing so much selling. Maybe it's time to worry, is it? Well, let's discuss. You got to realize that he does hold a lot of cash in his portfolio. He currently holds somewhere between $160 billion to $180 billion worth of cash. The figure that all the media outlets put out is $157 billion of cash. Now, the thing that you need to know about this cash is that he needs to hold a certain percentage of cash as a safety net for his insurance business. He's a very conservative guy, and if things go wrong with insurance and he's got to pay out people, he needs the cash on his books. So a certain amount of that $157 billion is for his insurance business. Now, this is a record amount of cash on his books, but you need to know that this is in line with his company's 20-year average relative to his portfolio. So you need to consider the cash, but you got to consider it as a percentage of his portfolio. You have to measure it compared to something, right? And this $157 billion seems to be in line with, the 20-year average. So $157 billion, let's look at Berkshire Hathaway's market cap. Berkshire Hathaway stock, it's got a market cap of $770 billion. So let's see what that is relative to the cash. So $157 billion in cash. The market cap was $770. And so it's about 20% of his total stocks that he owns. Now, you can say, well, the market cap is just related to the price that investors are willing to pay, but just use the market cap as a gauge for the total amount of stocks and businesses that he owns. So 20% of his portfolio, you can say, is in cash right now, which is a reasonable amount. So you need to know that probably a significant portion of this is probably sitting in Treasury bills, maybe 3-month Treasury bills at a 5.4% average yield. So it's obviously not cash just sitting in the bank withering away. He is getting a return on it, and the return is not bad, considering that it's a safe asset. It's a guaranteed amount that you're going to get. 5.4%. It's safe. You don't get the volatility of the stock market. So I guess it just shows that he still has faith in the US dollar, and he's always said he has faith in the US dollar. And I don't think he's going to become a gold bug or a Bitcoin advocate anytime soon. That's Buffett. We don't know why he's selling. He doesn't come on the news that much. He doesn't come and give interviews that often, unfortunately. It's normally just, one time a year with his annual shareholder meeting, or sometimes he'll do the odd, interview with CNBC or Forbes. But he hasn't said why he's selling. He hasn't said why he's doing that much selling. But he is playing the game a bit more safer. That's one thing that we know. He's playing the game a bit more safer, getting rid of some of his stocks and holding quite a bit of cash.